If you
Still,
right? I'm sitting here like,
still dope.
still dope. I said, still dope.
That's me.
Look,
That's my voice.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah.
Hi, ladies. Happy Friday to everybody.
What up, ladies?
Hello, hello, hello.
Child. There ain't nothing. Listen, we ain't even going to talk about something before talking about Married at First Sight. Because this episode's last night. Or wait, I'm lying. Wednesday night.
Wednesday.
Let's get into it. Because last week, I remember when we recorded, I was like, I didn't really take a whole bunch of notes because it just wasn't all that. I got notes for days. So, shall we just
go ahead? I'm sorry.
Go.
Let's just go into where the shit that everybody's talking about. Bitch ass Orion with his gaslighting ass and Lauren. I am done with him. If I never thought that I could dislike somebody more than, but I'm a nice person. I forgot that bitch's name.
Chris.
That was
other Chris.
What's
the bitch that was with Chris that was like, I'm a nice person.
Chris.
He's not even on her level. He surpassed her and Chris, in my opinion.
Exactly. When I say the woman that was with Chris, not Chris Williams, not Paige and Chris. I'm talking about the woman afterwards that was with Chris from Boston.
Yeah,
right. But I'm saying her and Chris Williams. Orion passes both of them, in my opinion.
So past them. I am so done with him. I was literally like typing notes, then going back and rewinding and typing more notes. He is so full of shit with the gaslighting. I'm over him. I'm over him. Okay, let me just start on my first note.
Yeah, please get to it.
Let me start on my first note with the sex thing. When she said she had sex 2 months ago, and he's like, "Well, sex is off the table." He was so judgy about it. If she had never said, if the conversation had never come up where he asked her or they asked each other, "When's the last time you had sex?" If she had never said, "I had sex 2 months ago," he would probably be in them guts having sex with her.
I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I think he'd have found something else.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He already found something else, which was the R word. That was before again. That was before.
That was even before that.
Finished. I'll wait.
I'm over that because all I'm gonna say. Let me look at my notes. Lauren, listen. He's not good enough for her. And she shouldn't have to. I'm tired of this thing with Black women. Us Black women, we always have to like water down ourselves because our tone is always so out of pocket or we seem so angry. I was so angry watching that episode on Wednesday night when it's like her talking to a child. He was so childlike when she was trying to talk to him and he's like, "I said I was sorry." And she's like, "But that doesn't matter. Like, you need to own what you said and whatever he said." And she's just like, "No, I'm not just going to take your apology." And then he was like getting all combative about it. And I was just like, why is she having this? Why is she a grown ass woman having a discussion with this grown ass man? It was like her talking to a child. This marriage, I'm just going to say this marriage is not going to work because forever she's going to always have to talk to him like a child. And I ain't got time for that. I ain't trying to parent a whole grown ass man.
Chris, you want to take it or?
Oh, you go, Shahida. You chomping at the bit. Go.
Got a list. Got a list.
Me too.
The slut shaming. We talked about that last week. You know, I mean, he tried to backtrack out of it. She would not let him. When they sat down on that bed and she was just like, no, whatever you're going to say with your full chest and mean what you say. I'm not going to let you go and kind of like slide out of it. His thing with, like you were saying, he wants to be able to manipulate a conversation and make her feel worthless. That's what I meant by last week when I was saying that, he's almost like a terrorist. He's a manipulative terrorist because he really wants to kind of break her down. And he has to a point, but not in the way that he wants to. So he consistently tries to manipulate the situation.
Yep.
So her calling Dr. Pia, again, shows her level of maturity. She says, we've hit this roadblock. I want to fix it. Let's call in a professional to help us. He sat there and he tried to peel off some of the lies, because I think he's a liar too. And he couldn't really do it. So he kind of gave in to what Dr. Pia and her was saying. And he seemed like he was okay. And I thought, okay, maybe they're going to make this work. He's going to be mature enough and have this conversation. No. So she puts in the emotional work. He brings the emotional baggage. And last week when I said I knew that his father was fucking white, damn it. I knew that some of the reason why he was just wanting to be super Native American was because he was fighting against his own demons. And then he said, how kids used to tease him or whatever, but you don't need to champion for the whole thing, And even in her mistake, and I really wish we had gotten Tracy on here because I really want Tracy to explain to me how this was not a joke, because I know she's mad at me, but what she said in that moment, I don't know how you consider it less than a joke. Like someone said to me, like, okay, if someone was saying to you, tar baby, why would somebody call you a tar baby? And they'd be like, oh, I get it, because you're dark skinned. Wouldn't you be mad? No, because that's what it is. I am dark skinned. If somebody was using that term and don't call me a tar baby. I'm just saying if someone was like, I never use that term tar baby. I don't even know what it means, because that's what she said. I never use that word redskin. Don't even know what it means. And then he said it. And then she said, oh, I get it. Your skin is red. That wasn't a fucking insult, sir. She was just making it was a careless observation, but it was an observation. And it's the same like if somebody goes, I never use the word tar baby and I don't get it. Why would somebody call you a tar baby? Oh, because you're dark skinned. Would I get offended and start crying and going on and on? And now all of a sudden, he just can't get over it. He just
let it go.
And I was very disappointed in her when she took on that angry black woman trope. She was, she cried to two people about that, where she was like, I know that, sometimes I can get emotional. And no, ma'am. He is gaslighting you with that bullshit. Okay. Don't take that on. You get emotional because you're really trying to explain to this man, and he just won't hear anything. He won't hear it because he doesn't want to hear it. And he was not going to have sex with her that night because he doesn't want to have sex with her. I don't know what his issue is, but he has a problem with her. And he definitely does not deserve her. And I wish that she was able to articulate to Pastor Cal what really happened. And she really couldn't do it, because I think if she articulated to Pastor Cal what really happened, or had he seen that that whole red thing or that red skin thing, he would have really came down on Orion, because Orion did not deserve any grace in any of that situation.
None of it.
Not like she gave him. But I have more, but I'm gonna go ahead and let Chris go because I don't want to just like snatch up and take up everything.
I was about to chime in, but go ahead, Chris.
Go ahead, Chris.
Okay. Y'all both need to take a deep breath.
I will not, after that episode, I will not take a deep breath. I'm done.
First of all, the tar. I understand what you're saying about the tar baby thing, but even tar baby, you're not the color of tar. Does that make sense? She just said, "Oh, because your face is red," because he was out in the sun too. They were outside.
That was what she was making the joke about. His red nose.
It wasn't like it. His face was literally. She's like, "Oh, red. Oh, I get it." I'm immediately apologized. Immediately took it back. We discussed this before. He's totally tripping, and the fact that he can't let go. It's deeper. My people, my thing. You know, it's a. She didn't. Let me collect myself. The gaslighting and the total manipulation. So he's still going back. He said, "Did you accept her apology?" He never said, "Yeah, I accepted her apology." He kind of said, "Well," he kind of hedged around it. And Pastor Cal, I understand. I mean, once they see it and what actually happened, then they can really go back and be like, I wish they would have an opinion one way or the other. Pastor Cal would be like, "Hey, man, she didn't mean that. You got to know. You got to accept her apology. If not, then move on with it." But for him to be so, the slut shaming thing was ridiculous in the first place, and he still can't get the concept of. She's like, I love the way she held his feet to the fire a little bit. Be like, no. You got to explain yourself. What do you think? He's like, well, that's not what I'm. She's like, no. I kept saying everything that she was saying. He would say something, and I was like, you are judging me. And she says, you are judging me. I'm like, thank goodness someone is actually saying what I would be saying in that moment. She's like, and he's like, I wasn't judging you. She's like, you were judging me. And I was like, you are judging her. And then he said, so. It's like, it was so frustrating to see her have to go through that. And his demeanor kind of is, that also is kind of annoying because he thinks that he's being considerate.
Nope.
And he thinks he's being understood. Well, I'm sorry. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. She's like, no, it's not that I'm sorry I feel that way. I love that she called him out like that. It's like, oh, I'm sorry you feel. No, it's not about that. It's like, he can't admit I think he knows he's caught, but he's still trying to, he knows he's caught, but he's still trying to give the visage that he's being understanding. And we've had a tough night last night. And because of you, motherfucker, because you are fucking crazy. Yeah, maybe we should have time apart. And I was like, I wouldn't want to be. If it's so frustrating to see someone, when they are truly, honestly trying to communicate a thing. This is how I felt about that. I feel like you're judging me on this. These are the steps you were taking. What would make you think that you're not judging me by saying, well, sex is off the table? All of it. It was so frustrating. And bless her heart for really trying to take the steps and be like, I'm trying here. I'm really trying to understand where you're coming from. And she's like, what do you want to do? Research? Remember, she's like, I've been researching. I've been doing everything that I can, and you still can't let it go. That's the one thing. And then the other thing, I just totally forgot. But it's so frustrating to see. And the angry woman trope. I don't want her to stop being. She's like, well, I raised my voice or whatever. It's because that's also gaslighting by him being like this and being like him, even being lower than. And if she's even a normal voice like this, going, no, wait a minute, you didn't say that. Well, you're yelling at me. She's like, no, she's not, Yana. Yelling would be, motherfucker, what the? That is the trope of motherfucker. Who the fuck do you? Where she is totally justified in doing, but she's going like this, and like I'm getting frustrated, and it's very hard for me to discuss this with you. Well, I'm sorry. Oh my God, it was driving me nuts. It was driving me nuts. Go ahead.
All I'm gonna say, first of all, I watched the after party. I usually now am not watching the after party because it's just meh. But Rudy Huxtable brought that up with the angry black woman trope. And that's why I texted you guys the other night and was like, watch the after party. Because that came up. It was Claire, Lauren, and Kirsten from Nashville.
Look good though.
They all look good. They all look good. Kirsten did look good. But Rudy brought up the whole black women culturally being made to feel like we are not, I'm reading, not to have those feels, or else we are made to look aggressive. I'm tired of this. So let me go back up to my regular notes. Orion, we all saw it in the beginning when Cameron talked about Mexico being the reservation. And he apologized to Orion. Orion was like, oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I keep going back to this because Lauren asked him, Orion, have you ever said the N-word? Yes. Very quickly. Yes. But when I was in high school, he asked Lauren about the R word. And she's like, I never said that. I've never said that word. Oh, but now I can see it now. Because they were in the jacuzzi. She said, I've never said that word, but I can see it now because of your
never even knew it was a slur.
Right.
Never knew it was a slur. And he can't get over, this is what I can't get over this hump. He can't get over the facts. He can't get past the fact that she said it. Like, I've never said it. I've never said the word. But I can see it now because of your red skin. Because we're in the fucking sauna, bro. Shut the fuck up. Everybody's skin is red in the sauna. Whether you're black, white, red, yellow, brown, indifferent. When it's hot, your cheeks get a little red. And
like I've never heard of Appleby. I've never heard of Apple before. I never knew that was a derogatory term for an Indian person.
Me either.
No, I never either.
So if I had said your apple, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Red on the outside, white on the inside. He would take that and be like, you're racist.
See, but that's what I'm saying. He has so many insecure issues about him only being half. It's about my community. It's about all the Indians. What are they going to do when they see this? How are they going to feel about you? And then I have to do. He doesn't feel like he's Native American, so he needs to make you know. Because just looking at him, I wouldn't know he's Native American. I would think he was probably Hispanic.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying, and I said it last week. He uses it as a weapon. Like other people might use a certain word to make you feel like, you're anti something.
All I'm gonna say is this. My takeaway, I was so upset watching this episode that I was saying to myself, we need to take Orion's lead as a people, because us black people forever. Everybody says the N-word. White people say I said the N-word. And guess what? I went to the church. I've talked to black leaders. I've talked to black people in my family. I've talked to my black friends. I did my research. I've done this. I've done that. And they've forgiven me. And all is forgiven. We need to take a page out of Orion's book, because I'm not forgiving anything anymore. You said the N-word when you was in high school or grammar school or preschool. I don't give a fuck when you said that shit. If you come into my life, I'm going to do an Orion on your black ass or your white ass.
And also, I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him with what's his name with Claire. What's his name? The New Zealand dude, the Kiwi dude.
Cameron.
I want to see how he is with Cameron the next time he sees him. Because if he can't let that go with her, why is he not? Why did he
already let it go with Cameron? They've been together several times.
That's what I'm saying. I want to see him.
They were on the bus. They were on the bus when Cameron said the reservation, and then Cameron said, "Oh, I'm sorry," and he's like, "Oh, it's okay. It's okay." He's just so quick to dismiss that.
So if that's what Orion's attitude about the whole thing is, I want him to be that way with. I wanted to bring it up again with Cameron. I wanted to bring it up again. And say, you know what? The reservation thing you said to me, it bothered me, and this, that, and the other. That's what I want to see.
You'll never do that.
Orion, if you're going to be consistent, you need to do that too. You need to say that, because that's even more, because that reservation reservation is a sensitive word, with Native Americans. So you need to bring that up with him.
My problem is Dr. Pia, Black woman, Pastor Cal, Black man. You already know that they've already been privy to what has happened. They've seen the videos. They've seen what's going on before they have these conversations. My problem is with the experts, Pia and Cal, is that why isn't it? I guess.
I don't think they've seen it yet.
I don't know how the production works and how things are taped, but I was legit screaming at the TV like, why isn't anybody holding him to the fire about the N-word? Like, no, everybody, like, I was like, my heart was breaking for Lauren. She doesn't have to. She didn't have to sit there and be like, I was online and I'm researching the word. I'm researching the culture. You don't have to do that, boo-boo. Because I've done that bullshit. Fuck your couch. I never said the word. You said it multiple times when you was in high school. So if I say to you, I've never said the R word. Oh, but now looking at you, because we're in the hot ass jacuzzi and your skin is red, and I say, oh yeah, I can see it now, and you can't get over that. Go fuck yourself. Move the fuck on. I'm the angry Black woman right now, and this is why I'm not on these shows, because Lauren should have ripped his ass a new asshole. First of all, I'm not going to talk to you like a fucking child. He sat there like a fucking child and was like, oh, well, I'm sorry. And then you're going to cry. No, don't fucking cry. We're going to handle this like adults.
It was the frustration cry, too.
It was like, he's the worst person on Married at First Sight fucking ever. I thought that fucking Chris Williams would be the worst. Then I thought that crazy bitch from fucking Boston was the worst. This motherfucker is the worst. This is the worst fucking pairing ever. And I'm sorry that Lauren has to deal with this being a Black woman in Denver, because we already know, everybody knows, that ain't no Black people in fucking Denver. Maybe a handful. So she got the indigenous dude. She got the American Indian dude. And he ain't shit.
I don't think the experts.
So fucking done with him.
I don't think the experts get to see the footage beforehand until it's all, edited or until a little bit later. But if you just listen to what they would be presented with, what Dr. Pia was presented with, he has an issue and she has an issue, and they have to see both sides of how the issue is prevented. They don't know all the backstory. All they know is that he's upset that she said a derogatory thing to him.
No. Remember with Dr. Pia,
derogatory thing to him.
What it looks like if I was a therapist and these two people came to me and he was like, or like if I was Pastor Cal and these two people came to me and he said, oh, she said a derogatory word. Oh, well, that's not you. Of course, that's not so-and-so. He did give her a little, well, I'm surprised she did that because she would be more sensitive. So I'm not exactly sure, but I'm taking your word for it. And how Orion presented it would be a legitimate beef that you would have, why you would get support from Pastor Cal. And when they went to Pia and they both did, it was presented more of, she was more upset and he was kind of being rational. So she's trying to straddle both people at a time.
But it was a different issue at Dr. Pia. Dr. Pia, they only addressed the sexual thing.
Right.
That was it. They didn't talk about the N-word or the other or the Redskin slur.
Because again, he gaslighted her again with the sex thing. When he literally quickly said again, like the N-word, he quickly said to her when he said to her, "When's the last time you had sex?" And she's like, 2 months ago. And is that a problem? And he's like, "Oh, that takes sex off the table." Immediately, just like he did with, "Oh yeah, I said the N-word when I was in high school, but you should be okay with that." Like, he was like, "Oh, that takes sex off the table for me." And then she went further with him. What he didn't realize is that this Black intelligent woman was going to question him on it and have a dialogue about it and a debate about it. And he couldn't handle her smoke. So here we are. Dollar number one. He can't handle her. Lauren deserves better. Lauren deserves a do-over. Listen to me. Lauren needs to get with Michael that got left at the altar. I guarantee you them two would mess up real well. Or just give her someone else. Find her a Black man that she can communicate with without judgment and without having to. I'm tired of this bullshit. Why can't we just speak? Why is it always Black women that we are passionate about stuff and we have conversations about stuff, whether it be with our man, whether it be with our friends, whether it be with our coworkers, and we're always labeled, that trope always comes up, that we're so angry, we're aggressive, we're this, we're that. I'm tired of that bullshit.
Well, we are angry, but we have a right to be.
I mean, we do have a right to be, but I'm over this bullshit, and I'm done with the fact that they're showing this shit on.
I don't defend it anymore. I'm just like, yeah, I am angry.
They're showing this shit on Lifetime, and it's like you've got Dr. Pia, Black, Pastor Cal, Black, and it's like we're sugarcoating. We're walking on thin ice. Let's have the fucking discussion. Let's talk about it. I'm tired of this shit. If I was fucking Pastor Cal, I'd have been like, "Well, what's going on here?"
But then, but he didn't get. He hasn't even gotten. I mean, he might have the whole story maybe by the next episode. But Lauren was not able, because she was feeling very emotional. She was feeling very, very much so attacked by him. She wasn't able to articulate really what had happened. So he's really just going up. But Orion was able to articulate because he was manipulating. It doesn't, and I honestly feel that it doesn't matter what woman he would have been with.
Oh, right.
He was going to find an issue. And if it was a white woman, it was going to be a bigger issue than really what it probably is with her. Because he
I don't know about that. Because I think
I disagree on that one.
Because she's extra sensitive as a Black woman. And that's even more.
But let me finish. The reason why I say that is because he's trying to prove a point about his heritage, a heritage that he is only half of. So he's really trying to go in and be like, you don't know. And then a white woman, anything that she says will probably be taken just as aggressively as it was with Lauren. I don't feel like he had enough with Lauren, so he needed to grab on to the Redskin thing because he knew exactly. I think he understood where she was coming from with that, but I think he's always going to be looking for something from someone to make them feel shitty, because he is a manipulator and he is very toxic. And there's another word that I'm looking for. It's not manipulator, but I'm sorry. It's oh my God.
Narcissist?
Not really, but in that realm of, just when a man really, when he gaslights a woman so hard, it's abusive. I feel like he's emotionally abusive to probably women in general. And he did say something about he would never do anything like that because he had to protect his mother and his sister from like a stepfather or something, or somebody that was abusing them. And so we don't know what kind of shit was going on in his house. And it sounds like it was very traumatic. I'm not giving that as an excuse. So the fuck what? Who cares? You treat people how you want to be treated at the end of the day. But I think just how he was easy to let a man get away with saying what he's saying, he would never let any woman get away with it, because even though he says, I come from, a family of domineering women, no, he wants to stomp on women. I don't even think he likes women.
Nope. I think if Lauren was a white woman, he would have given her the grace.
I don't think so.
That he gave Cameron. Because he had no problem with parting his lips real quick, saying, it's okay. When Cameron put out,
but that was a man. That was a man.
I don't care. And I don't care if that was a white woman.
I don't agree, but I get what you're saying.
Listen, if it was a white woman,
I agree. I get what you're saying. I just don't agree with that. I get what you're saying.
If it was a white woman that he married, that culture conversation would have never come up.
But something else would have. But something would have in its place.
Indian. No,
he's always talking about. Okay, he's always talking about his culture. So how would culture not come up? He wants you to know about his culture. He's going to insist that you hear it, regardless. So that's going to come up.
Yeah.
But if it was a white woman, and he said, have you ever did whatever? Or if she said anything, I don't even think that conversation would have been had. Like, have you ever had the cultural, because we already know white women, what culture are you bringing to the table? None. So it's like, that conversation would have never been had like he had with Lauren about the culture. So even if that, let me just say hypothetically, even if that conversation would have been had, he would have given her grace like he gave Cameron grace. I'm going to hold that shit to the fire. I'm sorry. He would not.
You can. You're not wrong. I'm not wrong either. It's just a different opinion.
Even if she would have said, she could just say, oh, I'm a Washington Redskin fan. Oh, I'm a Florida State fan. Oh, I go to the shows, I go to the games, and I do this, and I do the chants. I put the war paint on. He'd be like, oh, I get that. He'd do to her like he did to Cameron. It's okay. But because she was a black woman, I am going to hold this shit. Because she was a black woman, and she said that shit in jest, after saying she never said that word. This is what I can't get over. She said she never said the word. But he said it multiple times in high school. So as a people, this is our problem. We need to start holding people accountable. We need to start doing an Orion. I don't give a fuck if you was 12.
I'm not walking around with all that. I'm not walking around with all that.
Here's the thing. I'm going to do an Orion. From here on in, I'm doing a motherfucking Orion. If you have said the word, I can't fuck with you.
I think that he convinced her that it was a bad joke. I don't even think it was in jest. I think she was generally reacting to his skinning and understanding, oh, this and it wasn't a joke.
Oh, light bulb.
It wasn't a joke, but he made it seem like she said an inappropriate joke. So then she's like, oh my God, I said an inappropriate joke. No, you didn't, sis. No, you didn't, man. You didn't make any joke. You weren't joking about it. You just said, oh, now I see your skin is red, how I could perceive that. Anyway, so that's
it was the laugh too. It was the laugh afterwards that he kind of jumped on, like, like she was
that's like I said,
he's
not getting over it to the point when it got to Pastor Cal, and they had the conversation, and Pastor Cal is like, what the fuck? Like, is this something that you? And he's like, yeah, at this point, I don't think this is something I can't get over. Well, then fuck you, motherfucker. Get to gone.
Yeah.
Let's cut this loss right now. I don't want Lauren to be another Page, to have to be suffering through this bullshit through a season. Let this queen go. Find your own king and let this motherfucker gone. He don't need no more airtime. I'm over Orion. He's a piece of shit. He's a gaslighting, immature child, and I'm done with him. Go back to your mother and your sister, because apparently that's all that matters to you is their opinion and your people's opinion. Then go the fuck back there. Fuck out of here.
And find you a nice Native American woman. Find you a Native American woman.
You don't have to worry about
that. Listen, you're in fucking Denver. You're an indigenous country. If you can't find one there, then you got.
You know why he has a hard time with Native American women? Because he doesn't like women. He doesn't like women. Period.
No, because he's a fucking.
I think he would be disrespectful. That's just my opinion to any woman. But who's next? Because we can't keep going. We say the same thing over and over.
Listen, I'm gonna sing you a song right now. I'm gonna give you your flowers. You got your flowers, girl. I'm giving you all your fucking flowers because you nailed that shit.
Okay, I thought it was about Orion.
Oh no, I'm giving you your flowers on the next couple that I'm about to bring up. Austin and Claire. Bitch, you nailed that shit. I was watching that shit on Wednesday and I was like, shut your damn mouth. She hated that bitch. Nailed that shit.
About what? The religion?
Something is going on with this guy.
Listen, all right. So let me go to my notes because I don't want to miss nothing.
Because I'm like, yeah, what did you pick up this time?
Okay. So, all right. So let's get to when, okay, Austin and Becca, they had the religion conversation. Becca wants to have these deep conversations. And what is Austin doing? Deflect.
Avoiding.
Big time.
And I can go back. I know last podcast, I said I was going to go back and watch the last episodes, which I didn't. Sorry, not sorry. But Shahida, you nailed that shit right on the head because Austin, he didn't want to talk about it. So Becca was raised Jewish, but non-agnostic. I'm taking my notes here. So Becca's like, I was raised Jewish, but I'm not agnostic. Austin was raised Christian. And that's when I put in my notes, ooh, Shahida was right. I have to quote unquote. Becca's saying, we know we do. Remember when Austin said to her, yeah, we probably have some differences. And she's like, I know we do. But the conversation wasn't had. So let me go back to my notes. Okay, Becca was saying, back to you, Shahida, to give you your flowers. Becca's saying in past relationships, she latched onto commonalities and it failed her. And then her saying that she doesn't think it will be an issue with her and Austin. I wanted to unleash my inner Whoopi and say, Becca, girl, you in danger. Because you said it last week when you was like, it's men like that. Like, I'm watching this whole thing go, and I'm like, he doesn't want to tell her. Okay, he said I was Christian.
Didn't even say what type of denomination. Regular old Christian.
The hard conversations with her about his thoughts and whatever. And then she's talking about her past relationships, and I'm thinking, oh, here we go. This motherfucker is gonna swoon her through the whole honeymoon, then get her back to wherever they're from, Denver, and then all the shit's gonna come to light. He's gonna get her ass her nose so wide open that he's gonna be like, when they get back to Denver, she's gonna be so enthralled with him that she's gonna be like, "Okay, I'm gonna be." He is like grooming her for the next QAnon initiation.
I only had one. I only had two things I wrote about them. I said he's hiding something.
But am I wrong? Did I read into it?
And whatever it is about religion, she's gonna give into it. That's all I wrote. I just don't feel.
I don't think it's that important to her. The religion part is not that important to her. I think she just wants to get the major issues off the table. But and I don't think she can understand. She's like, now why are you being so shady? Because he is being like, it should be an easy conversation, and he's making it a difficult conversation. And the more that he makes it a difficult or avoids it, the bigger the question is. Well, why are you making this a difficult conversation? Like, do you have kids? Yeah, that's a complicated story. But do you have kids, right? Well, I've always wanted kids.
Let's talk about it when we get back.
Let's talk about it. No, but are you married? Like, no, married? Yeah, marriage is a tough thing. So we'll talk. Yeah, but are you like? And the more that you like, whoa, hold on. It's like, what is it about the religion part? And he said, yeah, I'm Christian. So, okay, so let's get into it. Well, let's talk about it later.
But then he said, just regular old Christian.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is regular old Christian?
And why would that be an issue if you're regular old Christian?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's why I'm like, whatever it is, I'm
whatever it is.
You don't know what it is.
But I said
what it is. You said it, Shahida, last week. That's why I was like, I'm gonna give you your fucking flowers because you called that shit when you was like, they are some Trumpers, some January 6th.
Oh, I believe that.
I guarantee you that's where he's coming from. And that's why he's like, I don't want to talk about it. Let's just enjoy ourselves right now. He's doing he's fishing her in. He's fishing her in. She's loving him. He's fishing her in. Then he's going to get that bitch by the fucking tongue hooked. And then he's going to be like, now you're my bitch. And we're going to go do some insurrectionist shit.
But my thing is, okay, see, when I said that last week, those are two separate things for me, religion and politics, because you can be uber Christian and not a Trump supporter. I just feel that those to with him and his family go together. But I'm not saying he's an uber Christian because I'm not sure yet. But there is something about the religion that he's trying to hide.
Yeah.
And if he is an uber Christian, I think he might be like one of those like crazy evangelicals. Like,
he says he's regular old Christian. So he kind of so like then what's the problem with talking about it? That's all I'm talking about.
Evangelicals think that they're regular too, but they're extreme.
Now, I think he's on the side of the QAnon, Trumpers, January 6th insurrectionist Christian. He ain't on that cult shit that we talking about, that Jim Jones shit. He's on that other side. And that's why he don't want to talk about it, because he knows when he brought up her pink hair, he's like, "Are you naturally pink?"
No, they were joking with that.
I was gonna say, come on, that can't be true.
I know they were joking, but at the end of the day, I'm reading everything.
No, they were both being. She was like, "I have to tell you something that I'm not," and he's like, "Oh, you're not." No, that was a total. That's their humor with each other. I don't think that was seriously at all.
That shit. Everybody on the internet has been saying that at this point, they think the only couple that's going to survive is Becca and Austin. And I had to jump in that chat and was like,
Yeah, I'm on the fence now. I am very much on the fence.
Let's wait.
I also said, too, that I'm kind of 50-50 with, well, maybe 60-40, maybe. That they're 60 that they'll make it, 40 that they won't, because I believe if it's a religion thing, And if it's not too out there, she's just gonna go with the flow.
She said she convert, and she don't even know what that means, but she said she'd be willing to do it. So,
and the thing is my thing is with her is I'm thinking she's super liberal.
yeah,
You know, and even being
100%.
agnostic, but I also see her downplaying that as she goes on to stay in that marriage. So I'm 60-40, but do I love them as a couple? Not so much, because I'm not sure about him.
What if it is that he doesn't support gay rights?
I feel like that would be
that may be part of the whole I'm regular Christian, which means that kind of, and she's total liberal. So maybe that's what he's trying to avoid. Well, what does that regular Christian mean? Well, regular Christian means we believe it's an abomination if you're gay. Yeah. Which makes sense of why he'd be hiding that. But it's interesting. Does he not want to ruin how great the honeymoon is? Is that what it is? That because I think he genuinely likes her. And I think
he does. I think so.
But he knows it's going to be an issue.
Ruin the honeymoon.
He knows it's going to be an issue, so he keeps avoiding it, thinking that as long as it gets her deeper, he ain't going to convince her. Of all people, he ain't convinced her that gay rights. But I think it's a gay rights thing. That's what I think.
But avoiding is problematic because for her, when he keeps saying, "We'll talk about that," like I don't want to talk about that now. Let's talk about that. We'll have them conversations. And her face, every time they showed her, her face was like, really? I mean, I just want to have this conversation. Like, this is basic shit.
That's what it is, though.
It is. It's basic.
It's basic shit.
Basic
like,
first date
he's
stuff.
married a fucking stranger. So I need to know, like, your basic beliefs, your basic thoughts on stuff. I'm asking you, like, hard shit. I just need the basics before I'm all in. And the fact that he's not giving it to her and he keeps pushing her off, that's problematic to me. And I know she's seeing that. And I know she's registering that. No, I don't think this is going to work. I'm with you, Shahida. I'm not going to say I don't think this is going to work. I'm with you, 60-40. We'll see what happens when they come home. So let me look at my notes to make sure that I haven't.
Yeah, I don't have anything really on them.
I don't like.
So let me ask you a question, because last week I said that I thought it was good that they save and table like the important stuff for when they got home and just enjoy the vacation. And I really think that's kind of hard to do. Do you think that? I mean, it's a week honeymoon, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you even think that's possible to be with somebody for a week and not have any kind of like, because like you said, religion to me, that's easy. Shahida, what religion are you on? I'm not religious, but I'm Muslim. Are you gay? I've never been in a situation to be gay. I'm strictly dickly.
But you have to have a conversation. When this is a different realm because it's married at first sight. So you're legit marrying a stranger. So when you have this wedding and you say I do, and then you go through the whole reception and this whole party, and then you go on your honeymoon and things are going great. That's the next step. That would be the next step for me. Like, I need to get to know you. Like, I want to know who you are as a person, as a human being. And with that comes questions. We live in a day and time where I got to ask you, maybe 20 years ago, if I met you 20 years ago, I'd probably be like, well, he's got all his teeth. He's got good hands. He got his, he's looks clean. Comes from good people. Okay. I'll take him. I'm not asking questions. This day and age, I'm asking all kinds of questions.
Well, I think
years ago, you're still asking questions.
I mean, but 20 years ago, I'm not asking questions on like we are not in the state 20 years that we are today 20 years ago. Like for me, 20 years ago or 25 years ago, I wouldn't be asking like, what are your religious beliefs? What is your political beliefs and all of that? I wouldn't ask that.
See, probably because I'm Muslim, I've always asked, I always want to know that question because I want to know if you accept me being Muslim, and you don't have to be, but that's what I am, and that's, you know, and I'm going to fast. So I would always ask that question.
I get that. Me being born and raised Catholic, and I'm not a practicing, I would be like, I'd probably ask like about your family life, your upbringing, and if the religion thing came to the table and that might be problematic for me, then we'd have a discussion. But I wouldn't right off the rip. As of like today, if it was me today going into Married at First Sight, I'm gonna be like, what's your political beliefs? What's your religion? What's your family situation like? ...
I think it comes with her specifically. Everything else is perfect, and she's looking for something that could be not perfect. Mm-hmm. And not even looking for it, just hoping everything is perfect. And that's why she's trying to bring it up, because everything else is great. So she's like, well, let's get into the big, deep stuff of being, you know, religion and kid or whatever, and to see if there's anything. And he keeps avoiding it. And she's going, oh no, I hope this is not. She's like, but I'll be Jewish. I'll just fuck it. I'll just be Jewish. Mm-hmm. I'll become Jewish if I have to, because everything else is great. But he's being so shady about it. It's like, she's like, well, now why is the? I think it's a gay thing. I think it's a gay.
You're mixing it up because
that among other things, I think it's other social things too.
But my thing was, no, I take that back, Chris. No, my other thing was the group dinner when the whole couples have the group dinner, and he kept saying he wants to put things off until they build a foundation. No.
Yeah, something's
someone's
up with that. Yeah.
But let's get to all right. Anything else on Becca and Austin?
No.
All
Cameron and Claire?
No, we're leaving them for last because they got. Let's get to Brennan and Emily. Did y'all watch the after party?
No.
I told you I'm gonna give myself my flowers right now because I kept saying Brennan is either like even keel, or he's going to be even keel, or he's going to fly off the handle. And he showed his whole toxic ass.
But I said the same thing too about him. I said there was something that was we couldn't read on him, and I was just very. I liked her, but I there was something about him.
I've changed. Listen to me. I've changed my opinion on Emily for the fact that, let me look at my notes, when they were having their little discussion and she was asking them questions. Like I said previously that I thought Emily's lack of being in a relationship was going to hurt her. But I think after this episode that this might be a benefit to her because she don't know any better. And now she's just trying to do the most. And she was having a conversation with Brennan about how many kids,
right?
Football Sunday. What do you want to do? You know, what else does she
work to be in Denver? Yeah.
Yeah, she's a Denver Broncos fan. And she was good about that. And she said that she was raised Catholic, but she doesn't follow the faith. And he said he was raised Jewish. But
that's not bad.
No. You're the same. You're the same because Becca was raised Jewish too.
Mm-hmm.
But then it was Emily that was when Emily was like, I don't have a problem with converting. And they talked about kids, like how many kids do you want to have? Like she was asking all the right questions. And that's what made me change my thought process on her. Because I'm like, maybe this bitch is really in it. And then she asked all the right questions until she asked that wrong question of, do you like to have fun?
Yeah, that was a little bit. She was totally joking. He was like, joking. Oh, you think I don't like to have fun? Oh, now I don't have fun. I was like, excuse me. sir?
This
What,
toxicity was coming out.
Problem? Is there a problem?
It was.
There was.
Run,
And
girl.
the way that the cameras, and this is when we know his ass is the way his ass is when we went to commercial and then we came back and it turned him off to the side with not the whole cameras in their face, but there was a camera. Obviously, they had wide lens on him. And she's like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I felt bad for her at that point because she's like, bro, this is not her, but this was me. I'm like, bro, I've asked you all the hard questions, like your religion, how many kids you want to have, like what is your day entail, like who's cooking, like I can cook breakfast if you cook dinner, and da da da. She's asking all these crazy ass questions, and he's not flinching, but the one question that he absolutely takes offense to is, do you like to have fun? And when it came back from the commercial and the cameras was like panned away and she was sitting on the thing there and he's like, what did he say to her? He's like,
well, that wasn't a legitimate question. I don't think it was a legitimate question. I think she was just being.
Yeah, she was playing. I thought she was playing.
I thought so too.
No, she was playing, but he got mad and you remember he said, you'll know when I'm having fun or not having fun, or you'll know when I'm upset. Oh, you'll know when I'm upset. Yeah. You'll know when I'm upset. And then said to her, this is when I said it ties back to the parents, because let's go back to the beginning when he said his parents have been married for 40 something years, but they're always going to be together, but they have a toxic relationship. They're just going to be together. But he said to Emily, he said, you'll know when I'm upset, or you'll know when I'm offended, whatever he said. And then he said, I've only been this mad. I've been mad, but the only time I've been really mad is at my parents. And I'm saying to myself, really? Like your whole life that you've lived, you haven't really wanted to break your fist off in somebody's face, but you've been that mad at your parents? That is problematic to me. So if I was Emily, or if I was Emily's mother, sister, friend, or TT on Still Dope podcast, I want to get in Emily's ear and be like, bitch, run. Because if that motherfucker can go off on his parents and lose his shit on his parents, he ain't thinking about your ass. Trust me when I tell you. That shit is toxic as fuck, and it's about to go down.
So the only thing I had to say about them is when she said she thought that Catholicism was a cult, and Judaism is not a cult, and you think that you can just go in to be in, even if you take the classes, honey, they never gonna consider you a real Jew, never.
No.
And then the red flag for him, of course, was that it was so uncomfortable for me watching it because it was borderline. There was violence under it, you know. I mean, even the way, because he was kind of like sitting up against the wall, and the way he kind of like hovered over her, you'll know when I'm like, when I lose my shit, hovering over her like that.
Yeah. And not nice. On the after party, if y'all didn't watch the after party, Rudy Huxtable, Claire made it very clear. Claire and Lauren made it very clear that Brennan isn't who he is. Oh, he showed his ass because they showed that clip.
What did they say?
And they said he is every part of that mean person, because when the cameras are off, he is disrespectful and rude to everybody. So it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time before they catch that shit on camera and he shows his ass to Emily. And I need Emily. Emily ain't never. I want to. Oh my God! I take it back. that I
So
called her
Claire
Virginia.
said that he is, because I'm going to go by what she said.
Claire said it, and Lauren nodded her head in agreement. Like,
Lauren was there too. Okay, yeah.
Yep. Lauren nodded her head in agreement. Like, yup, he is a dick.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me because I was saying from the beginning it was just something. Didn't know what it was. There was something.
For all the hope and positive things we thought about the season, it's turning into some juicy stuff. Because we had hope for like, oh my God, everyone's. Oh no, wait a second. Now we're like, oh, 5 out of 5. Then it's 4 out of 5. Then it's like 3 out of 5. It's like, oh, not oh.
Actually, my last note of the night after watching it, I said, this will be the first politically and racially charged Married at First Sight ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
I agree with that.
Ever. That was my last note that I put after I watched the after party. I was like, it's about to go down. So you better tell Vanessa, bitch, get in, because we about to go in.
And Cameron and Claire?
Oh, Cameron and Claire. The only thing I got to say about that, 2 things I've got to say about that. I got to reverse my opinion of Claire that I said last week. I think Claire is just scared. I think she wants to love him or wants to get to know him and do the most. I just think that she is scared. I'm looking at her mannerisms when she's laying in bed or when she's talking to him. I think she's just thoroughly scared. But I've got to give Cameron props because, bro, when he brought them roses, I was like, the roses was everything.
That's worthy of a peck on the lips. That's all I have to say.
A whole ass blowjob. You kidding me?
No. What I'm saying is, she went like this.
She said a whole blowjob.
She went like this. Oh my God! Thank you so much. And he
They're
went
as tall as me. They're as tall as me.
No, when he went down there and they pressed cheeks together. When he hugged her, she should have turned his head and gone like this and given him. No, not even that.
All down the throat.
Just a worthy of a kiss. She didn't touch him, so I don't think she likes him that much.
I don't think so.
I don't think she's attracted to him. I think he's too quirky for her. I don't think he has the right job for her. I think there's too many red flags that she keeps putting up. I don't think she's scared. I just think she's like, I really want to like this guy, but I just don't like this guy.
Yeah,
and he's like, well, I really like. They don't want to get physical. She don't want to get physical. She don't want to touch him. He's reached out to her. She's never reached out to him. And if she liked him, she would at least reached out at some point and touched him in some way. And they are not affectionate at all. She don't like him, and he's trying to, whatever. So,
come on, Cameron, I got you. I don't like a little baby face either. But listen,
I'm not a fan of his stuff.
I ain't never in my whole ass natural life had flowers brought to me like that. Come on, Cameron. Come on, anybody at this point. Bring me a bucket of flowers like that. I'll be like, yay. That's some fun.
Well, my thing with her, I'm still not feeling her. I feel like she might be trying but she just doesn't seem to have a clue about a relationship. And it's like annoying because you're a therapist and she doesn't seem to be able to do therapy well. Even her conversation with Lauren at the airport or wherever they were, it was just like, bring something, give her some advice, something. She's a therapist. It just doesn't.
Crazy.
It doesn't.
Oh, she's gonna listen. I will agree with you. She's gonna lose a whole lot of clients at this point.
So, and then the other thing was that I actually wrote meh because they're both at this point they're both boring to me. He's trying, and she's really not giving him much. But I get it if you're not. I don't know if it's, I can't see why she wouldn't be attracted. Usually tall guys just get all the attraction, but I can't really see why she's just like.
I think it's the face. I think his height is great. His height is great, But his face, he just looks like a 13-year-old prepubescent child.
I don't get that, but I feel like she just does not know how to relate to, maybe it's men in general, because when you listen to her last week and how she's never been in a relationship either, she's on the same level as Emily, even though Emily is a little bit more open about it. She's basically in the same spot. They've never been involved with someone that really wanted to be with them, so they're actually coming from a place, I think, of hurt, because I think she really wanted somebody and they really did not have it for her other than like maybe a hookup. So she seems extremely guarded, and that might be some of the issue. But because she's a therapist, I would have thought she would work with some of it. But I don't really have a lot to say about them. I'm just like, if you make it, great. If you don't, great. I really don't care. They're so boring.
She ain't gonna make it. They ain't gonna make it.
And they're so mayonnaise. Both of them are so mayonnaise.
I don't think anybody's gonna make it. If I had to do it right now, I don't think anybody's gonna make it. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that this season is going to be good. I'm in it. We'll see. I might be wrong, but we'll see. So we covered everybody.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, indeed.
Anybody see the previews for next week though?
I saw a little bit of, yeah.
I did not.
I did too. So I think that's gonna be good.
The reason why I don't like those previews is because that's not what actually happened. They edited it so much to try to put you into thinking that this was going to happen.
I watched the previews last week for this week, and it was pretty spot on.
Yeah, but that's they do, because there was so much going on. Sometimes when there's nothing going on, they make it to seem
exactly. Yeah,
you can never really trust it. I give it about
Well, I'm lucky in that my DVR always cuts it off. Like as it ends, when I watch it, it just cuts off. Like when they start the very beginning of the previews, and I'm like, great, no need.
Yeah.
Right,
so I feel with Lauren and him, I think it's going to come to a head next week. I think we'll know one way or the other.
If she's smart,
they're getting a divorce. They're getting a divorce.
They're getting a fucking divorce.
I believe that they are, and I hope she's the one to say it. That's all.
Well, she already did it. She already said it.
Yes. But then when Pastor Cal came back and she was just like, no, she didn't want a divorce. She was in the moment. And he's like, oh, I understand. But I hope next week when they ask her that she's adamant that,
I need her to say, I want a divorce, and I want her to walk out with her whole chest. Like, bye, deuces. We're done. Yeah.
I feel for her. He really hurt her. He really did.
I stole my whole ass. Anyway.
All right. I'm done.
It's been good. Hold on. Here we go. We'll see y'all next week. Pop, pop, pop.
Is that gunshot?